Well, let's go to our major story of today. The Senate last week passed the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill, the PIGB. It's a section of the PIB which has been with the National Assembly for several years, and several sessions of the National Assembly had picked up the PIB and dropped it several times. This time around, this current Senate had broken it into 3 areas according to them, and the PIGB they've passed. The Senate says the PIGB is a part of a 3-part bill meant to help sanitize and administer the affairs of the oil and gas sector. Let's get perspectives to the matter now. Joining us from our Abuja studio is the chairman of the Petroleum Committee, Senator Tayo Alasha-Adura. Welcome to the program, Senator. But before we go into the PIB issue, let me quickly ask you, as we continue the assessment of the 2 years of Buhari government, as a chieftain of the APC, are you happy with the performance of your party that holds sway at the center in the last 2 years?
Thank you very much, Sheung. To some extent, I'm happy. In other areas, I'm not happy. Because when you see your countrymen not in good shape, you cannot be happy. But when you talk about the performance of the government, putting side by side what was met on grant, the terrible situation that this administration met, the plundering of the nation by the past administration, one would feel happy that steps are being taken to ensure that this type of thing never happens in our country again. In a situation where about $10 million could be found in one's house, another 400 million naira being found without owners, and so many other things that are happening, you know, you will realize that the pillage of the nation was unprecedented. And it will take time, you know, to rebuild what we have. But steps have been taken to start the rebuilding. That makes me happy.
I wanted to quickly, so that we can go into the main issue of the day. As a senator, a representative of your people, do you see anger in some of your people about what they call the slowness of the performance of the delivery of the promises being made by the APC government at the campaign in 2015, that some of those things that were promised have not yet been delivered 2 years down the line? Do you feel that anger in some people that you represent?
Well, people are sometimes not happy. Others at times believe that the government is doing well. You see, the situation in Nigeria calls for everyone to think. For example, a government that was to take over was denied access to all information that should have been given before that government took over. You could see what happened in France recently when everything about the past government had been revealed and taken into consideration when the new president was to be sworn in. The same thing happened in the US. But in Nigeria here, if you cast your mind back to 2 years ago, or a little above 2 years ago, you find out that the present administration was complaining seriously that what should have been given to them as information to prepare the government to hit the ground running, who are not available. So where do we start? You come into government, you now start looking for information about what had happened in the past. You now start looking for information about the amount of money that will be available or that is available, about how people have stolen. Of course, it will stall, you know, the progress that you have envisaged from the beginning. Those are roadblocks that this present administration met. And all those roadblocks must be cleared before
if
the
we may just go straight
without that, I think we will be deceiving ourselves. There is no magic that anybody can bring it to this matter.
If we may just go quickly into the issue of the day, well, we'll take a moment, and when we return, you'll be telling us about what we should be happy about, and what people are saying about the PIB that is being worked upon by the National Assembly, which your committee is spearheading. That's going to be after now. Join us again.
Objectives of the bill. The bill we seek for a total reformation of the oil and gas sector was formulated based on the following objectives, amongst others: to create efficient and effective governing institutions with clear and separate roles for the petroleum industry, to establish a framework for the creation of commercially oriented and profit-driven petroleum entities that ensures value addition and internationalization of the petroleum industry, promote transparency and accountability in the administration of the petroleum resources of Nigeria, and 4, to foster a conducive business environment for petroleum industry operations.
Is the most strategically or economically strategic bill that has so far been brought to this assembly and have so far been processed by our committees. It is so important not only for the petroleum industry but for the entire economy of this country. And I want to commend the committees involved in the processing of this bill so far for doing a good job. And I want to say that it is incumbent on us, not only us, but to everyone concerned in passing this bill, that all hands need to be on deck to make sure that this bill is passed as soon as possible. Because I think it's the panacea to the current situation we find ourselves, not for the short term or medium term, but for the long term as well. When this bill is passed, I'm sure the issue of recession will be over. It will be over because the revenue that will accrue to the government, to the petroleum industry, will be very much. That will clear the problems that we have now in our economy.